Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks so much for watching today. Today we are in Jurassic World Evolution 2 and actually in the new Biosyn expansion pack building in Biosyn Valley. So this is the brand new map that is available with the Biosyn expansion pack that just came out a couple days ago. So we are playing in Sandbox, but normally this is a campaign mode playthrough that you can go ahead and get into. But today we are just building for the Giganotosaurus and the Quetzalcoatlus. I just decided to jump in and play around in Sandbox for the fun of it. I absolutely love this new map. It's gorgeous, and I'll get into more of why, but quick little shout out, just a reminder for you dinosaur fans, Jurassic World Alive is running a special sweepstakes to celebrate its 4th anniversary, and participants can enter for a chance to win a trip to Universal Parks and Resorts in either Hollywood or Orlando. There's a Gleam link down below in the description box with details on how you can enter, as well as full details and rules. Additionally, don't forget that if you download Jurassic World Alive now using my link in the description box or the pinned comment, make sure to join my alliance, the Banana Bunch. Back to what we are doing. We are basically building a little aviary on top with kind of like a valley habitat on the bottom. The Quetzalcoatlus is probably my favorite animal that came with the new Biosyn pack. That one and maybe the Pyroraptor, just because of its colors and whatnot. But the Quetzal is really just an amazing flying reptile, amazing animal, and I love it so much, all of its colors and how big it is, and I love its animations. So I decided to make it a nice massive aviary so that it would fit, and we ended up putting 5 of them in there. And then down below, just to give a little bit of height variation, kind of drop off a cliff into this kind of valley for the Giganotosaurus. Now the Giganotosaurus isn't new with the Biosyn pack, but we do actually get a brand new variant, a new skin. So I don't actually put any of those in there because I find their normal skin just to be a little bit more exciting than the movie one, because the movie one is pretty monotoned and single color. It's like all kind of gray and dark and whatnot, and the normal skins have some color in there. But I'm trying my very best to use a lot of the Biosyn genetics buildings. They're very futuristic looking, very like curvy plants on the roof, like with this emergency shelter and stuff like that, and very futuristic looking. I am a little bit bummed that we didn't get more in the way of decorations for this kind of style set. So you'll see that I end up using some of the DFW stuff, and it doesn't really fit because obviously those two companies are kind of opposite. They're kind of good guy and bad guy, and they don't normally, they don't go together or anything like that. But with the DSW stuff, the crates and the backstage stuff and all that kind of whatnot is really what I needed for this park or this build rather, because I am not really gearing this towards people coming to visit. This isn't supposed to be like a dinosaur park or a theme park or anything like that. It's meant to be like a research facility or a sanctuary or something like that, where it's really just going to be like the staff that are caring for these animals and observing them. So that's really kind of what I geared it towards. I really like the introduction of the hyperlink as well, because I was able to kind of connect this backstage area that you're actually looking at behind the habitat here with the left-hand side of the habitat, and I put some buildings over there eventually with the hyperlink without having to run this massive long path all the way around to connect the two. The hyperlink is able to go underground and connect the two, so that is fantastic. And this new little what's it called, like observation tower, I think it is, also connects to the hyperlink, so I put it right there smack dab in the middle so that the scientists could look out and see the Giganotosaurus. And the one thing that I actually did forget to put that I completely forgot until now is a little observatory for the hatchery, like a little viewing area for the aviary. But maybe they go in the hatchery and they look at the dinosaurs that way, or the flying reptiles that way. I do a hatchery on the Giganotosaurus habitat just because, you know, I needed a way to get them in there, but it also provides just a little bit more interest and a little bit more structure to the habitat. Another issue that I had with building on this map is it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it, but as you can see here, the trees that come in the decoration are still kind of like the alpine-y trees, and they're not as kind of moss covered and I don't know, they just don't quite fit with like the forest brush that I'm using. And I love the forest brush on this map so much because it has like this really cool mist kind of ambiance effect to it. And I think it's fantastic, and I think it makes habitats look really cool. But then you get these like really dry kind of pine trees and alpine plants and stuff like that. So I try to mix it up with the use of this kind of low growing foliage that's a little bit more, it's not really tropical, is not what it is, but it's just a little bit more green and moist, I guess. That's a weird word and a weird way to describe foliage, but that's what I think of when I think of like mist and stuff like that. So anyway, hopefully you guys get my point, but I would have liked some trees that just kind of fit in just a little bit better. So I tried my very best to kind of blend them in around the sides. The other thing that I really enjoyed about making this habitat is the brand new invisible fence that we got with the Biosyn expansion really was able to allow me to make this kind of seamless transition between the Giganotosaurus habitat and the Quetzalcoatlus aviary, and I didn't have to have this big massive electric fence separating the two. So around the whole outside of the habitat for the Giganotosaurus, I used the electric fence so that you can obviously see it. It's a fence, it keeps the animals in, but up the hill I was able to run that invisible fence and really have like a seamless connection between the two of them, which I really enjoyed. We moved on into the aviary, and what I tried to do in here, because when I had previously placed the Quetzos in the aviary, they just felt really big to me, like they didn't quite fit. So I sunk the ground down as low as I possibly could, and it just kind of created a little bit more space for them, and I don't feel like they were as kind of cramped and squished in there. Again, we put 5 of them in here, so I probably could have maybe gotten away with 3 or 4, but I really wanted to look at all the colors and stuff like that. And like I said, they're my favorite animal that came in the pack, so I just love watching them fly around and do all their animations and stuff. But I felt like lowering the floor in the aviary really kind of helped, especially when I kind of raise these other parts up and I create a little bit of variety. Excuse me, I totally forgot to turn off my phone. What a bad YouTuber I am. I create a little bit of variety up and down in here. It really kind of, I don't know, it helps bring it together, I guess, and make it look a little bit more interesting. I'm sure that you've noticed I'm having a little bit of trouble with the graphics in Jurassic World Evolution 2, and these issues only started arising after I downloaded the Biosyn pack, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. I have been having a couple issues with my PC overall, so I can't quite, as of now, tell if it's my PC or if it's this game. I don't really have a lot of graphic issues with other games, so I'm leaning towards the fact that it might just be Jurassic World Evolution, but I hope that it gets fixed or I figure it out very soon, because it's very annoying. You can see a lot of the pieces are like tracking for me, where they like leave an image behind as I move my cursor around, and then there's some like flickering at the very bottom of the screen every once in a while. I did my very best to kind of edit it out in the end cinematic so you won't really see it, but in this speed build footage, you do see it because it's there, and I wasn't able to edit it out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully I can figure out what is going on. I've seen it on a couple other creators' footage as well of the game, and so that kind of makes me feel like it's not specific to me, obviously, and it makes me feel like it's the game and not necessarily my PC, but we'll see. This little area that I'm working on is meant to be kind of like base of operations, more so like administrative stuff. Like I've got the power building over here, obviously the expedition center and the fossil center and stuff like that. I end up putting this little like pathway in that's supposed to mimic like a delivery area with these little truck trailer thingamajiggies. I put that over here. That's the official term, thingamajiggies, and try to give it a little bit of detail. I don't spend too much time detailing the kind of staff areas, again, because I just don't feel like I have enough of the decorative pieces that I need in order to do so properly. But I do use some of the new fountains that came with the Biosyn pack. We get these really like modern, futuristic-y looking fountains, which I think are great. And just ignore the labels on those. Obviously, they don't have the Biosyn labels on those, but we're just going to pretend for now. It is a dinosaur game, so I feel like our imagination can handle wrong labels just a little bit, right? If we're going to imagine the dinosaurs are real and in parks, we can imagine that that label says something else. But here we are adding a couple of the lights and the fountains from the new Biosyn pack just to give a little bit of decoration. And that is, yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a very quick, easy, simple build for me, and I just wanted to get in and play around in the new map, really, is all I wanted to do. We still have our other Sandbox project that I need to get back to. It's the Alpine one, but I really, honestly, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people build on like the more tropical maps, and it's really making me want to jump over and do that. So I potentially might start a new project without finishing the first one, which I really hate to do, and I know I hate when other creators do that, because I'll get attached to a series and then they change it and move on, and it bothers me, but I feel like I might end up doing that myself just because I want to build in a tropical map so much. But let me know what you guys think. Have you picked up the Biosyn pack, and if so, are you enjoying it? If you haven't, is there a reason why? Are you just waiting to pick it up? I have really enjoyed the new pack and the animals that are in it. We started playing the campaign mode, excuse me, not the companion, the campaign mode on stream last week, and plan to continue it going forward just to get into the second part of it, because I've played the first part of it a couple times, and so we need to advance past like the first little level there. But yeah, we're just doing some terrain paint detailing in the habitat, and then we'll get into some end cinematics so you can kind of see the dinosaurs and the Quetzos kind of fly around and walk around in their habitat and enjoy the space that we made. I also feel like even though this side of the enclosure goes up and then it levels off, I also feel like keeping the big carnivores in a ditch is a little bit safer. I don't know. Probably not. It probably has nothing to do with it, because they can still get up to the top just fine. But here you can see some end cinematics, little shots of them kind of walking around. I ended up putting 3 gigas in the habitat, and they just hang out and hunt goats, and that is their life. So if you guys did enjoy the video, do leave a like down below. It really does help me out. I greatly do appreciate it. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button, because that will make sure that you don't miss out on any future content. I don't have anything else to say, so again, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. I will talk at you guys in the next video. Bye!